Last week, NIO had a great week, up over 15%. Since the $3 low, it's clear buyers have come back in and are pushing the price back up. Since the reversal bar during the Monday 7th of April week, last week, price did fall ever so slightly, but not much. Buyers stayed fully in control, with sellers only able to push the price down a slight amount before last week buyers came back in very aggressively and pushed the price up significantly, about 15%. At one point, it reached a peak of around $4.24, and then for the week, price closed above the key level of $4. So this is really positive for NIO, and it shows buyers are coming back in and seeing great value for this stock from the $3 level. So in this video, I want to talk about where NIO could go next. And specifically, I want to talk about two specific scenarios for NIO as we wait for the Q1 earnings, which is around 6 weeks away. I think this earnings report will be pivotal for NIO, either pushing the stock up or potentially scaring investors away and price will fall further. So let's have a look at the chart. Looking at the weekly chart, we can see since this peak of 550 back in March, price, as we know, has fallen away significantly into the recent low of $3. But in my last video, I talked about two possible scenarios where the price could fall further. If I zoom out, we can see that right now the price is looking like it's going to hold above $3. And the risk towards the downside has dropped significantly, with buyers coming back in this week and pushing the price above $4, which is great. So it looks as if now what NIO is looking to do is push up towards the underside of the trend line. And that is going to be around about the $5 mark. So over the next 6 weeks, as we come into the Q1 earnings key date, the price may do something like this. It may increase further for the next couple of weeks, pull back to test this level of $4 once again, before buyers hopefully will come back in and push the price up to that $5 level. This would be in keeping with the short-term trend and still respecting the medium-term downtrend. So price is going to go up, but obviously not break the trend line in the next 6 weeks, unless there's a key catalyst that happens for NIO. And that key catalyst could be the Q1 earnings report. If NIO reports positively on June the 5th, which is a Thursday, I think, for their Q1 earnings report, if they report increased sales, if they report a significant reduction in losses, this is going to pull investors back in. And this might cause the price to break out above this trend line on screen. So based on previous price action, there's high probability that over the next 6 weeks, NIO is going to trade up towards that $5 level, reaching the underside of the trend line. Of course, it might fall short a bit, but I think it's going to get close. So if the Q1 earnings report is positive, we might get a breakout of the trend line and price is going to increase into this green zone here, possibly pushing up after the report towards the 771 resistance. Now, looking at the previous price bars for NIO, we can see that there are certain weeks where price has risen significantly. Going from the $5 level up to 771 might take 2 or 3 weeks with a pullback in between. So post earnings, if they're positive, we could see a rise towards 70.71 during July. However, on the flip side, if the Q1 report comes out as negative, perhaps if sales aren't increasing fast enough, and more importantly, the losses are still significant. So even if the losses have reduced slightly, but they haven't reduced significantly to attract investors, we might see more investors currently holding NIO selling their stock, and this will obviously drive the price down. So following the Q1 report, if it's negative, we might see price fall down and then come back to test, first of all, the $4 level. And if they're particularly negative, we might see price fall immediately towards maybe 350. And then maybe 4 weeks after the Q1 report, if it's negative, price may fall all the way back down to the $3 support level. So those are two likely scenarios after the Q1 earnings report. Obviously, if they're positive, high chance price will rise. If they're negative, there's a high chance price will fall. So just to confirm on the monthly chart, we know NIO is in a long-term downtrend. It has hit a support level of $3 in the last 3 weeks, and now it's looking to form a short-term uptrend, which should meet resistance at the $5 level at the bottom of the trend line. So overall, the next 6 weeks for NIO should be positive in theory. We should see the price rise towards that $5 level. Then, of course, it's going to be a pivotal moment when the Q1 report comes out. If they're positive, price should rise, and if they're negative, investors might sell out and price will fall. Thanks for watching.